December we paid.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Pay our home.
Okay, it is December 21st, 2023, 4 p.m., and I'm going to call our meeting to order. The ZBA is a fact-finding body, and to grant variances, it must determine the existence of special conditions other than solely financial, which create an undue hardship for the applicant. Positive action requires an affirmative vote by at least 4 of the 5 members. ZBA decisions are final, and recourse for ZBA decisions is to court of law. For items scheduled for a public hearing, residents will have the opportunity to comment on agenda items. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, members of the board shall not discuss, deliberate, or make any decisions on topics not posted as an agenda item. Speakers should state their name and full address for the record and address all remarks to the board. The board asks the public remarks be limited to no more than 3 minutes. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Texas pledge?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, so for our consent agenda, we'll begin with the approval of the minutes. The minutes are under the orange tab in your packet, and they're from the meeting October 19th, 2023 at 4 p.m.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, concerns, or changes? If no, all those in favor, aye. And opposed, same sign. All right. Minutes are approved. So for our regular agenda, we have agenda item A, public hearing. Consider a request for a variance to the zoning ordinance section 118-427A for a reduction in the minimum lot depth requirements in a R4 multifamily district for Lot 12, City Block 41, located at 1102 Logansport Street. This request has been submitted by Rudy Bohack, case file ZBA 2023-12.
Hi, good afternoon, Chairperson Kurtzky. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Kuritzy, but so
Kuritzy.
close,
I
so
apologize,
close.
I apologize. My name is Nathan Dietrich. I am currently the planning consultant for the Planning and Zoning Development Board for the City of Nacogdoches, and I'm here to present on behalf of them. So tonight, this particular item has been withdrawn, and we received a letter or an email from the applicant at this particular time, so they have withdrawn the item, and there is no reason for us to move forward with it.
Okay, well, very well. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, again, that was agenda item 4A. And so we'll move on to agenda item 4B. Consider the request for a variance to the zoning ordinance section 118-466 to reduce the required number of off-street parking spaces for a tract of land, being lots 13A and 13B, City Block 59, located at 2912 Rayburn Drive. This request has been submitted by Suzanne Patterson of Caltex Lumber Company, Inc., case file ZBA 2023-13.
All right, good evening, Chairwoman and Board. We're here to present item case number ZBA 2023-13 on behalf of the Planning Department. Again, my name is Nathan Dietrich, representing the City of Nacogdoches Planning Development Department. The request for today is to not construct 20 additional on-site parking stalls due to the fact that they're asking to construct 2 additional covered structures on site, increasing the gross floor area by 20,000 square feet. And in doing so, per the ordinance under section 118-466, they would need to require an additional 20 on-site parking spaces. The location of this particular site, as shown on the aerial map, is off of Rayburn Drive and just south of the intersection of Rayburn and Stallings Drive. The subject property is also zoned I-2 for heavy industrial, and it's surrounded by like-kind uses on all contiguous sides of the property. And where the construction of the two structures are going to happen is on the southern boundary, with the adjacent property being Pilgrim's Processing Plant. And as you can see from our 200-foot notification map, there were 5 letters sent out to the surrounding contiguous properties. And at this particular time, we have not received any formal responses or notice that any other citizen has made any inquiry on this particular project. As you can see from the site plats site plan that the staff has created, the location of the 2 structures will be on the southern side of the building, as you can see on the south side of this map. And staff would like to point out that there are already existing 150 employees parking spaces it would be on the north eastern side of this map, where they have access off of Rayburn Drive. There is also on-site parking of approximately in between 20 and 25 parking spaces near the administration building on site. So in total, there are roughly around 175, approximately 175 spaces on site altogether. As previously stated, that Section 118-466 are the minimum parking requirements for the city of Nacogdoches in this zoning ordinance. And because of the size of the structure, the gross square footage that they are looking to construct on the property, we would request, or the ordinance would request, at least 20 additional parking spaces, and they are proposing 0. I want to make point that the goal of the ordinance of the minimum parking requirements is to ensure that there is provided enough on-site parking to accommodate the majority of traffic generated by the range of uses which might be located on this site over time. Here are a number of photos that were taken on site. This is a photo of where the 2 buildings will be constructed. We would like to point out that it's the request of the applicant to build 1 structure right now, but ultimately there will be 2 structures built there I believe over the next couple of years, but the applicant is here to ensure that you know what that timeline will be. Again, here's some photos to see where the structures are, looking west on the property and also looking east on the property. It's currently was used for just outdoor storage or outside storage, and they're looking to formalize that storage by paving it and then covering it with a pole barn, which will have open sides on it, will be non-conditioned space. Again, just so everyone can see the size of the parking lot, you can see there's a significant parking area that's allocated for the employees. And there's two photos that we took to show where the employees park, and again, there's administrative parking on site behind the gate. So, as was stated before by the chairperson, is that there are required findings for every variance that is submitted before the city of Nacogdoches. And so to ensure that, we go through these, staff would like to walk through each of these required questions and answer them to how staff feels they should be responded to. So first question is that such variance is in harmony with the intent and purpose of the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance? Again, part of the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance are to promote the health and safety and welfare of Nacogdoches through orderly and efficient development. Furthermore, we believe that these required parking spaces are to provide enough on-street parking, or on-site parking to accommodate the majority of traffic generated by the site and the range of uses on the site today. The applicant has stated that these warehouse buildings will be used for the storage of dry lumber and outdoor storage that they currently have. So it is felt that no additional pedestrian or vehicular traffic will be added to this to require additional parking. The approval of this variance will not provide a hazard to the citizens of the community and will not alter the use of the surrounding property. Everything that they're going to be doing is currently on site. There will not be any expansion other than a pole barn covering over existing outdoor storage. And staff believes that this is in request and is in harmony with the intent and purpose of the comprehensive plan. And part of that plan also includes that we want to encourage quality job opportunities. And also, when you think about that, it's also to retain current jobs that are here. And we believe by providing this opportunity for them to not include these additional parking spaces, it will maintain the reflection of, or will retain the folks that are currently here working at Caltex Lumberyard. Number two is such variance will not substantially or permanently injure the appropriate use of the adjacent property in the same district. Again, because the new buildings are there, it's not going to have any impact or very limited impact to any surrounding neighbors. We are not reviewing the permit at this particular time, but as you can see from the pictures that were shown, is that there's ample room for the buildings to be constructed on site to meet all of the setback requirements per the zoning code. So again, they will not have any permanently injure or have any impact to the surrounding areas. Number three is such variance will not adversely affect the health, safety, or general welfare of the public. And again, with not requiring these parking spots, we believe that it won't have any other adverse impacts to the health and safety and general welfare of the public. Number four, such variance will not authorize the operation of use other than those uses specifically authorized for the district in which the property for which the variance sought is located. Again, the variance will not authorize the use other than the uses already permitted in I-2 heavy industrial. And as a reminder, this is the most intense of all zoning districts. Number five, the plight of the owner for which the variance is sought is due to unique circumstances existing on the property and not to limit to the area, shape, or slope. The unique circumstances were not created by the owner or the property and not merely financial and not due to any sort of result of the general conditions in the district in which the property is located. Again, the property is located and has ample room to address additional allowance of new structures on the property, and they have existing ample parking for the types of use that they already have on site. Number six, the variance itself is not self-created hardship. Although staff believes that this is a self-created hardship, however, what's not taken into consideration is that the property that is expanding, it depends on the nature of the business. The business itself may not warrant an expansion of the current parking lot. Heavy industry relies on heavy equipment and storage, and as we can see by the setup at Caltex, that they rely on heavy 18-wheeler transportation and also rail movement. And because of the majority of their clientele will request this product via both of these modes of transportation and export, staff can see that the need is limited when it comes to this, if any at all. And since they already have a large parking lot to use for their employees for their shift work that is currently there, staff agrees that the installation of these newly covered areas will not increase the current clientele or any retail use on the site. So at this point, staff would recommend the approval of the variance to not add additional parking to this to this location, because we believe that they already have the necessary means to allow this operation to continue, and because they're just going to be covering over existing, excuse me, existing outdoor storage on the property. Staff would like to answer any questions that you might have.
You said these are gonna be, these are gonna be pole barn? They're not gonna be closed in on any of the sides?
That's correct. So let me just quickly go back to these photos right here.
Okay.
So if you look to the top photo, and then actually the bottom is more closely shown, it is going to be representative of that type of structure. Again, non-air conditioned space.
Right.
Can I speak to that? There is,
Just a moment.
Well, we'll have an opening, we'll have an opportunity for you to speak as the applicant.
I'll ask the question that seems to always get asked.
Please.
The variance would go with the property, so if at some point this property changed hands, the variance on the parking would still be with that property, correct?
Yes, sir.
Even if those buildings were used for a different purpose?
I think at that point that you could consider it to be a request. So if they were to enclose those buildings and make them air conditioned, we would bring that up at that particular time if the permit were to come in.
But they would not, how would a
They'd
permit?
have to get a building permit.
They have to get a building permit?
Yes.
For any
Right.
kind
Okay.
of plumbing or electrical.
Okay,
So that
So-
would trigger that.
okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming so, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And this property is located inside the city limits, correct?
That is correct.
I think there's one more, no, I guess it just joins because County Road 525 is county.
that's
It's not a name, so it must border
Right on the edge.
right on the edge. Yeah.
But the location of where this improvement will be done and where the
It's in the
request
city
is,
limits.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was looking at the aerial here, so I was getting a better view of it here. A lot clearer.
Any other questions from the board for Mr. Dieter? Dieter?
Dietrich.
Look, I did it too, Dietrich. Mr. Dietrich.
I always say diet rich.
I think that's an oxymoron.
Any other questions from the board?
I just have one more. On this, I'm looking at my aerial because it just seemed like I could see it a little better. Are the buildings going right in here? I couldn't tell, these are kind of dark. Are the buildings going to cover this existing lumber that's like right here stacked?
No, ma'am. If you look on the video that, or on your monitor, it's on the southern side, which is on the bottom of your screen. You'll see
Okay.
a
Oh, I
green and a
see, I
red
see.
building.
I see that.
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
I'm sorry, I did not look at that.
No
Okay.
problem.
I see that now.
That's the proposed area.
Okay, okay. All right, I'm fine. Okay. Boy, they look small compared to all the other facilities.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll open for the applicant.
you did a good job, thank you.
Okay. At this time, we'll open it for a public hearing. And was there anything, nothing came in written? No one's calling in? No one's videoing hybrid world in? Okay, very well. Okay, then we will close public hearing. And does the board have any last questions for staff? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I would move that we approve the, let me get it correct,
Yep.
the, would move that we approve the, what word do I want to use?
Page
The
page one,
variance.
yes.
I'm trying to find a page, just the perfect.
Okay.
Okay, there it is.
First page, item B.
Okay. we would approve the variance, I need to include the number or anything.
He's gonna have to read that whole thing.
Item B, public hearing is what we're making a motion for.
Approve the variance to the zoning ordinance, section 118-466 to reduce the request number of off-street parking spaces for a tract of land being lots 13-A and 13-B, City Block 59, located at 2912 Rayburn Drive.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the variance to the zoning ordinance, section 118-466, to reduce the required number of off-street parking spaces for the tract of land being lots 13A and 13B, City Block 59, located at 2912 Rayburn Drive. Is there any discussion? None?
Add something to the board, if you wouldn't mind just including what those numbers are, even though that the variance is being stated there, but if you can say.
The case file?
No, from 20 to 0, so for not adding any off-street parking spaces.
Oh, okay. That was not in our variance request on our agenda.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay,
I just
so
wanted to make it
add those in.
clear-
Okay,
Clear
sure.
what is being.
So does he need to amend
The
his?
city has requested an amendment to the motion.
I'll amend the motion to say from 20 to 0 parking.
Very good, thank you. And second.
Second.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Very good. The variance is approved. And it is 4:22 p.m. on December 21st, and we are adjourned.